This is my breakout. It was designed for an AP language class, but it could also be used for other things. I just want to go through some things. And first say a special thanks to Time Warp, where I use some of their ideas of their types of clues. Okay, it's started out being based around the book The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, but you would not necessarily have to read the book in order to be able to grasp the clues. We wanted to reinforce things about the book, and we also we're fixing to start a unit on research, and I wanted them to make sure that they were very good about documenting sources and verifying sources and checking every source out. And so a lot of this has to do with conflicting clues on sources. So if you will want to follow along. The way that we set up the game is we told the students that they had been chosen to be part of a medical clinical trial for a new drug, and in order to get out of having to go through this trial, then they're going to need to solve the clues and break into the box to get their name off the list. Some of the clues can be solved in various different orders. They do not have to be in any specific order. Here's one clue. It's actually a printout of this picture right here. What's important is the actual QR code. There are other things on there like this link that is a diversion, but the QR code is the thing that they need to do. When they go to the QR code and read about it, it's talking about drug trials, and hopefully they'll deduce the word that they need to open the word lock is the word trial. Another picture is this one, and it has several things on it as well. Down at the bottom is this. This is the link where the picture came from. This tells you what about the caduceus symbol, what it is, just from the link there, and get kind of the MLA format. Tucked in there, it's this word right here. It is not highlighted on theirs. I'm highlighting here for you to be able to see it easily. But if they actually go and just Google the numbers 104-191, then they're going to get all about this act from the Health Insurance Act when we started with HIPAA. And so the year that HIPAA began was 1996. So one of the codes that they're going to need to open a lock is 1996. This one is, okay, this clue right here, this part down here is the clue. Can be put on the bottom of the small black box if you have one of those. It needs this 3-digit code in order to be able to open it, and it's the hint to open that particular box. You would definitely want to hide the black box, and then they would go here and research this, and this is the number for someone who is hearing impaired, and the last 3 digits that you need here are what actually are the code that open the particular box. And if they don't know the difference in finding and hearing impaired phone number and the regular, then they may need to make sure that they research that, but more than likely they'll know the difference or see it pretty quickly that this is the number that they need to open that particular box. This clue is also hidden in the room. It's a picture of the HeLa cells, and it has the information written in invisible ink. So this is at the top of the page. There's blank space at the bottom of the page where you'll write in invisible ink the criteria for having your name on the list. We used the year that most of them were born, which was 1998. You could use other things for the criteria if you wanted to use another way of a clue, if you wanted to say all males or all girls or something like that. If you wanted to try to use some kind of code that would translate the letters into numbers to open the number lock. So if you wanted something other than the year they were born, you could definitely do that. It did show up, even after I laminated the invisible ink, still showed through, and they were still able to read it. Okay, this is another picture you'll hide in the room, or you can present this to them after they have done the other ones. It's up to you. I presented them this after they'd gotten the other locks open. There is this link at the bottom, which is the link that goes with this picture. Notice highlighted in yellow for your use is the actual email address that they need to be using rather than the link, and they actually need to email them. When they email them, it is set with a vacation responder so they get an automatic response. Also on the page is this QR code and this quote by Frederick Douglass, and that has a lot to, he had a lot to say in this particular kind of realm. These all are distractions, as well as the link being a distraction. What they need to focus on is this. Depending on the group of students, they may do it real well. One group I had was reluctant to email somebody they didn't know for fear they would get an ugly response. The other group actually figured out this one, because this is the one that's Gila, because if they had read the book and they knew a lot about it, then they just sort of went the route of let's take words that we can translate into letters, and they had found the clue to be able to do that, and so they figured out that was a prominent word in our story, and so they figured that out without actually using this hint. So if you want to give them in the envelope, you can give them this as well as the LEAP's translation code, or you can hide the LEAP QR code somewhere in the room. This is the LEAP code. This is the one. Gila is what they had to translate. They got that from the last clue that I just showed you, that was the sign picture, and where they had to actually email. I do need to mention that in the actual email, body of the email, is this link with the question mark, similar to what you've seen in Time Warp, and that's definitely where I got the idea, and so that they had not played Time Warp, so they were not familiar with that, but that's how that led them to a document that talked about Gila. Then they would translate Gila using the QR code. This opens up a LEAP file, and it gives you letters that can be translated into numbers, and the Gila translates into 4314. So that's another number that you would want to program into one of the number locks. Do make sure before you put your locks on that you put a list of the students' name that followed the criteria for being on the list inside the box. They seem to have great fun in actually scribbling their name off, so they did not have to be a part of the drug trial. One group of students figured it out in about 40 minutes. They were new to doing Breakout, and so they were kind of slow to start and a little reluctant. The other group did it in about 35 minutes, and like I said, they did it without actually even having one of the clues. They just kind of went at it the way of brainstorming words that might possibly be translated into numbers, four-letter words and that kind of thing.